5 to our millions of fans. Um, all right, Lord of the Flies. This is going to be one of those books where I rate it probably like higher than what I like actually enjoyed it at. But I didn't like super dislike it. It's just uh this might be like the first like classic book where I like intrinsically understand why it's like been studied so much and why it's like school reading and all those things cuz like well but then again no I think there was just something to it because I don't know. In general, I'm not the type to like taking like literature and then like take it too far and like relate it to life and get like existential and crap. I just think it's like I just don't like that. I don't like literature class kind of type thinking. But I couldn't help do that in this book because I think it's just like very very obvious. But at the same time, not in any kind of like you'd think it would be difficult to like have something that's like almost arresting you and forcing you to think about life like that, but it would also be like somehow kind of like preachy or like too obvious, I guess. Maybe not preachy, but like really really obvious. This isn't really like that. It's just a good solid story with like obviously like a ton of parallels and stuff to humanity and things. Let's see. What did I like about it? The writing is super super good. It's kind of like when we talk about like flowery language, but I would not. It sounds weird calling this flowery language because a lot of times it felt like kind of like gruesome and horrible but then beautiful other times. But it was just very very well written. He's good at that. Um,
Did you read or did you listen?
a little bit of both, but mostly listen. I'd say probably like maybe like I had like one session, maybe like 15% of the book I read, and then the rest listen. Um, and I listened to the. Oh yeah, I think we talked about it. I listened to that other narrator. I never listened to his the author's note or whatever. I got to go back and listen to that. That'll be interesting. Um, yeah, so it was super interesting. Got me really really thinking. I think that it's like probably like as accurate as a portrayal as I would imagine. Just humanity devolving into if just left alone like that to its own devices. I like the idea of uh, like how intelligence is kind of like the last line of defense to just like falling into complete chaos, but even it doesn't go that far. Uh, just the idea that like power and kind of like whoever has the sharpest stick when there's no when there's no rules wins. Also quite true. Um, I think it was cool that it was done with like little kids like this. In my mind, I think that the same thing more or less would happen if it were like all girls or like mixed. I just think maybe it would have been like a little bit less lethal because I don't know if girls would have like armed themselves with spears so quickly. But I think that maybe it would have just instead of like a couple kids dying, it would have been like a whole lot of like maiming and stuff. I just think that at our core, people are like this, and it especially affects kind of like the masses, the dumb masses, the sheep that follow. There was a lot of that going on in this book. Um, yeah,
Oh,
uh, yeah. So I don't know like how much I liked it. I'm not really sure. Like I thought I found it like fairly enjoyable. But again, like it's sort of like forcing me into this space where I'm like thinking about these things. I just don't like literature class. Like I just don't really like doing that. So like I don't know, but I think it's worthy of a pretty good score. I'm either probably going to give it like a 4 or 5, um, just because yeah. And I also had that distinct feeling of like a lot of these classics. This isn't the first time, but like where when I'm hearing it or I'm like listening to it or reading it and I'm seeing like just how well done it is and then I think about how long ago it was done, it just kind of like trips me out. I think the one that did me the most was I almost called it Mars Attacks. What the heck? War of the Worlds. Because wasn't that one late
yeah.
Yeah.
1800s? And yet you read it and you're like, this this reads better than like a sci-fi movie being released today, and that just doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And this is a super well written and well executed book. Like whether or not you like the subject matter and stuff, it's just crazy that it was done so long ago. Pretty cool. Yeah. So I think I overall like liked it more than not. I don't think I'd personally give it a 4 or 5, but that's what I'm gonna give it because I think it kind of deserves that. And yeah, it just made me think, kind of made me sad about all of, like, I think the harsh realities that it just shows and discusses. Thought it was interesting when like the sailor at the end, when he kind of like said like, you know, like kind of
A
like how many
naval
died.
officer.
Yeah, he's like, oh, two. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Kind of like, you know, just I don't because I don't know, like I'd like to think I'd like to think that people would be like more moral than this, but I just don't think that that's actually true. Uh, yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Actually, wait. Uh, oh yeah, a couple of like the even though this wasn't a particularly like gory or violent book, we've definitely like read worse. Like the moments that the stuff like happened or like really grossed me out. I think it was just his wording. Like I think one of the times he was over him and he was like punching him in the face, and it said he was punching him until he became slippery. I was like, dang, that's a way to put it. Or when Piggy went over the cliff, hit the rock, and it said like there like
Yeah.
red things came out. I was like, that's a way to put it.
Stuff came out of
Jeez.
his head.
Yeah, that's jeez. Yeah, so that was intense. That was intense. Yeah, I think that's about for it for me. Pretty good
Who's
book
next?
overall. It would be you actually.
Thank God, I have a lot to say. I have so much to say.
Go
First
for
and
it.
foremost, have you seen 28 Days Later? No, it was gory and it was absolutely disgusting.
Hmm.
Just don't watch it if you don't watch it. Anyways, give me a second, please hold.
Okay. Oh no, she is muted. I thought I heard something in the beginning. Mhm.
Okay, first and foremost, I absolutely hated this fucking book. I hated it. And I'm so like I totally get why like if I did read this in high school, which I probably did, why the fuck I totally forgot every single point of it because I just couldn't. I dragged my feet through this entire book, and I don't give a fuck if it has great themes. I don't give a fuck if it's used as an example. It is a 1 star for me. I hated this book. I hate this book. I will hate this book till I die. And if my children in the future have to read this fucking book, I'm just gonna not even let them read it. I will give them a Cliff Notes version of it. Oh my god. I don't know if it was British. Who the fuck? Who in their actual right mind said this is required reading for a fucking high schooler? Their writing was awful. There was no punctuation. There was never quotation marks that really ended. You never knew what fucking point of view you were in. It like I don't understand how anybody can like read this book and like understand it. Am I the only one? Did I get like a fucked up version?
Probably
Like
not.
was it? It was awful. It was so hard. If I probably did well when I was in high school reading it or whatever fucking grade, as an adult who has better who's at my front door? Oh. Who has better like reading comprehension that I would assume I did in high school. This book was very difficult to get through. I
Hmm.
hated it. I hated every fucking single second of this goddamn book. Like I get it. There's like the thematic elements of like boys and whatever. I don't give a shit. It was so hard to read. It was so hard to read. And that's all I have to really say, to be completely honest with you guys. It's just like it was literally I was in quicksand trying to finish this goddamn fucking book. It was not for me. I don't even know what else to say. I really don't. Okay. Justice for Piggy, because he was the literally the most intelligent fucking person in this entire book, and he died. And like, not even him dying, like, in a good way. He got his fucking head cracked open because they were fucking insane. Ralph, cuck. I'm so sorry, dude. You want to be the chief, and that's how you fucking acted as a chief. I don't fucking think so. Like, you got what was coming to you because like you did not act in any manner whatsoever that would have like equated you to a chief. Like, as much as I hate Jack because he was a little fucking rat piece of shit, he did what he had to do as a fucking chief. All right, he rallied the troops. He rallied the troops, and he got them to fucking stand behind him. And I hated fucking Jack, but he did what he had to do, and good for him. Even though he was a piece of shit. What else? Simon hallucinating from what? Probably dehydration, and then having to die in this like really brutal way in the fucking weird circle of children with pig blood like smeared across their face. Awful, terrifying, scary. Okay, Sam and Eric. I don't know. I like I'm trying to like rabble my thoughts together, and all I can really think of was like I just hated reading this book. I hated reading this book. I will give credit where credit is due, and I do think this book was like a great example of again themes and like like what would happen if boys were stuck on an island and chaos and rules and I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about, like you know what I mean. And that like okay, yeah, sure, that was like a great portrayal of that, but like the writing I could not get behind. I fucking hated it. The characters all fucking sucked. I don't give a shit. They were little boys. And yeah. One thing I do really kind of want to know is like how long were they on this island for all this to happen?
Hmm.
Do we know?
Maybe you could
Huh.
like glean it from there, but it never really crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I feel so bad for poor Piggy's ass, Mar,
At my asthma.
my ass Mar, and just like whatever. And then at the end too, like I read the book where the author read it, and he was just like, oh, like why didn't I write this about like a big group of girls? And he was just like, because this is what I'm having with girls, and I was like, damn right it wouldn't. It
Hmm.
sure as fuck wouldn't. You are absolutely correct, sir. This would not
Mhm.
happen. And then I'm just like, yeah, like boys. No offense, Darren. But boys kind of suck. Like, why are and this is just like a great example of the patriarchy, if you fucking ask me, because you put men in charge of everything and just have them out there by themselves doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Look what happened.
Violence.
Two
Yeah.
men dead. Two innocent men dead. One with pig blood on his fucking face, and a naval officer looking at it like, okay, actually, like, yeah. Anyway, if you were to tell me this was like this weird ass dystopian novel about like what would happen if you put like fucking bunch of kids on an island and then like have them come, like, I don't have cohesive thoughts except for the fact that I
Lots of
really did not
thoughts.
like this book. I hated reading it as an adult. I don't remember reading it as a child, but I can imagine I hated it then too. And I hope no little boys ever get stranded on an island because they would all die and nothing good would happen. Yeah.
I don't think I ever read it. I think this is my first time. I don't think it was required reading for me.
Okay. My turn.
Mm.
I just listened to the audiobook by the author and I stuck with it. I didn't read the actual book, but I told you guys that he had a little note at the start where he wanted to write a book about, oh, what would happen if a bunch of boys were stranded on an island? Like, let boys be boys. What would happen then? So that kind of set the stage for the whole story. I haven't read this book before, but I kind of had an idea of what this story was about. So I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be, I know it was going to be a story of everything just turning into chaos at the end, but I didn't expect it to be so gruesome. It was pretty gnarly. It was really gnarly. Um, and considering that these are kids, it was weird. I kind of feel in between Julia and Darren, like I see that this is a good book and you can like discuss the themes all day long if you want to, but at the same time, I do not enjoy reading it. I think that's what it is. Not even slightly. But at the same time, I do see the themes. I get it. Like, okay, fine. Uh,
Like
I don't even know.
like
Like,
it's about as enjoyable as a textbook is to me.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
because
gather the
it does read that way to
information.
me. Yeah,
It makes you think, but at no point in time did I think, dang, I'm enjoying myself so
yeah.
much
Like
reading this.
this is good reading here. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Highly
yeah,
to
yeah.
recommend this book to other people. No. So it's just I don't know, like so we had Ralph. the so-called leader, he was horrible at it. So that was one point to be discussed. Is like, what really, like, he self-appointed himself, right? If I had to pick a leader and if it was put to a vote, I would have voted for Piggy because clearly he was the better choice. But they kind of put him down at the start and then Ralph kind of like self-appointed. And Julia is right, like Jack was actually a better leader than Ralph because he at the end of the day got things done. He rallied the troops, he got the meat. That part was really annoying me because every other chapter, like, we want the meat. Where is the meat? What's with the meat? Like, shut up already. I was so sick and tired of listening to them complain about meat, talk about meat, want meat the entire time. And then I saw somewhere that what that meat was like symbolic for like, oh, see, Jack is able to like provide something tangible, whereas Ralph only talks, and sets out rules and regulations. So it's like two different leadership styles. On one hand, you get the guy who just talks in abstract, and on the other side, you have the guy who actually provides. So the meat was symbolic of being able to provide. I was like, oh, okay, fine, I get it, but also enough with the meat. I had beef with the meat, so that was it.
Beef with the beef, beef
Um,
with the pork.
so the author's note where he said that this wouldn't happen with a bunch of girls, I agree because there was actually an experiment done. They got like a bunch of preteen boys and a bunch of preteen girls, and they put them into like this house. And on the boys' end, they finished all the food on day one. They just started playing, and they did not do anything to like see if they could
Prepare,
survive the next
basically.
day.
Okay.
Exactly. But on the other side, the girls, they kind of organized themselves and they were like, if when you girls do the cleaning, we'll do the cooking. Let's see how much food we have and let's just organize ourselves. I guess that speaks to how like different girls and boys are. Like on one hand, the boys were like, oh my gosh, we're all by ourselves. We can go crazy. We can do whatever we want. We can play the whole day. And the girls were like, okay, we're all by ourselves, so we got to tend to ourselves now. So like, let's see how we can make this work. So it's pretty interesting. I wish like maybe on one side of the island we had the girls and on the other side we had the boys, just to see
Yeah.
like,
Oh, that'd be
okay,
cool.
what the
Uh,
difference
I
is.
love that.
yeah, like actually,
Yeah.
it would have been that this would have made that way better. Like if Maze
Mhm.
Runner did that and it explored these
Hmm.
kind of themes, that would
Yeah.
have been
Yeah,
cool. That would have been cool.
that would be
That's interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like at the start they had all these rules and regulations and that was like kind of keeping them in check, but then as the book progressed all these rules and regulations just went out the door and they just started becoming so wild. So like I
Did you,
guess the author is trying to say,
Manel? Did you catch that?
catch what?
Julia, did you see what just happened?
Mm,
Dude,
no, what happened?
she just did it again. A duck
Did what?
just came onto her screen, made a little
What duck?
quack, and then flew off. How the hell did she pull that one off? I swear. We
I
could
wasn't
we could see it on the VOD afterwards. I swear that just happened. How does she keep coming up with these like new ass things? That's so weird. Like it was like a mallard, like just like a cartoon mallard, and then it just
that is
swiped off the
so
screen. That's great. I'm sorry. How long has this call been going on? Around 22 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for it. Go, continue.
specific.
Continue.
Yeah, I don't know, like if we didn't have rules and regulations now to keep us in check, will we become like that? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. For yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like take when Julia's driving on the road, you see it happen every day,
Ooh.
right? So like if there were
Right.
no rules, what
R.I.P.
would
Commute.
happen?
So
So
what I think is needed is well whether or not this is needed or good, but at least like what works today is a combo of Ralph and what the heck is his name?
Jack.
Jack.
Jack
Jack.
Meriden.
Basically, like rules
Meridoff.
are useless unless you have a gun pointed to society to make sure that they do it, and that is how it
Ooh.
works. We obey
That's fear
traffic
in this
laws
case.
because of punishments, whether it's
Mm,
threat of violence
That's
or
true.
taking away of your money or taking away of your freedom. We obey because of the fear. So he was using only fear, he was using only rules, and we have to use both, which is kind of icky when you think about it, but that is what we do.
Yeah. I put in the chat so I didn't forget, but I think like Jack and Ralph were like a good example of like CEO versus like COO. So like chief
Okay.
operating officer, I feel like they're a little bit more in tune with like what actually goes on and like is able to like understand like the inner workings of it, and they can like say things and like make things happen because they have the general understanding of like operations. And like a CEO is obviously like higher or equivalent, but like it's more words versus like them actually knowing what's going on, and they just want to like implement things without actually like really being in it,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Not the best analogy, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Was
Any
that it,
other
Manal?
thoughts?
No, that's about it. But what Dan just told me reminded me of when I was in Singapore. We did a bit of shopping and we wanted to grab a bite. And then the restaurant we were going to was really tiny. So they were like, keep your bags outside. And we were like, I'm not keeping my shopping bags outside. Are you crazy? And they're like, no, just keep your bags outside. Nothing's going to happen.
No.
And we were like, someone's going to steal our stuff. And they're like, nobody steals in Singapore. Why? Because like if you're caught stealing, jail straight off. I thought that was really interesting because there's no way you can do that in Sri Lanka. You keep the
Mm.
slipper outside, someone's going to steal your one slipper. So I thought
Hmm.
that was interesting. Like that just kind of proves what you just said. Yeah, you need people making the rules, but you also need people to enforce it. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, like, yeah, like that's why we have like, police, right? Like they're enforcing laws with
Sure.
violence,
Yeah.
like at its core. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Or
That's why
like
they have guns and why they really need
exactly.
guns. Like it would be nice
Yeah.
if they didn't need guns, but like we
Yeah.
wouldn't. At our
Which
core, we
makes you
wouldn't
think
listen
like
without it.
how does Britain do it without their like police force using like lethal force? Like they still
Well,
manage to like make they have better CCTV too, so you can get caught really quickly. I don't know
yeah,
what's the
like
equivalent, but
this starts getting into like weird stuff because I was definitely thinking about this a lot, but like one of the problems nowadays is people are forgetting that actions. Well, I don't think they're forgetting. It's just that in a lot of cases, actions don't really have the consequences that they used to,
consequences.
and people are like getting away with things like far too much. And then you like see like how about that? How about that? That like what's it that girl that basically like broke into that guy's apartment and like filmed him naked and then posted it on TikTok, and she like
Oh, the
Yes.
genuinely
DoorDash
didn't
one.
she was baffled
Yes.
that that was illegal, and it's like of course
Fair.
that's illegal, like of
Um,
course that's illegal.
and I want to remind, and this is like my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, I will say this. Think about the most unsufferable, annoying piece of shit person you've ever met in their entire life, and then think about if they've ever been told no, or if they've ever gotten their ass beat. And the answer
Right,
is no.
right.
Mhm.
And they
Getting
need to.
beaten up
They
helps.
absolutely need to.
And
Yes.
we need to start whipping
We need to
people. We
start
need to
punching people
start
more in the face.
and
Yes.
to be quite honest with you, we need to like I think we need to like slightly bring back bullying. Like we don't want to take it too
I'll
far,
take.
but
Yes.
it that fear growing up keeps you in line, and we have like a bunch of people like in their 20 somethings that have like none of this sense of what
Mm-hmm.
happens when you cut out a line, and they're just doing stupid
Mm-hmm.
stuff these days, and I'm like or like a lot of these like protests that are happening, and like you can like say what you want about protests or like what side, but like when you genuinely in your mind think that a peaceful protest is like lighting things on fire,
Mhm.
and that's not but we're just peacefully protesting, like that's not that's not like you're supposed to have the picket signs on the corner like we used to 20 years ago, and that's like kind of as far as you go because that's as far as is safe, you know what I mean? Like you can't but it's just but but a lot of with a lot of these ones
To
that are
your
happening,
example, though. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say with a lot of these things happening, law enforcement isn't stopping it, and so since there's no repercussions, it just goes crazy.
I'm trying to like word my words correctly. I think I don't know. I'll go ahead and just keep my comments to myself for this one.
Hmm, fair enough. Yeah. But for sure, if you have a lot of people doing that kind of stuff, and someone comes in and an officer like blows one of them away with it, like shoots him in the head, people will scatter.
Dude, oh my god. Like something like to that. Okay. We're gonna move past that. I like get a lot of like body cam footage on my like TikTok for you page. And then again, think about the worst person you've ever met. and if they've ever had their ass beat, or if their parents ever told them no. And the
Yeah.
answer is no.
Yeah.
Never. Like, there's like so many times I see like body cam footage of like some like child or teenager being like, oh my god, like being crazy, fucking acting up, blah blah blah. Their parent comes, exact same personality. No, like, and
That's
it's
interesting.
okay. I see where you get it from. Anyways, besides
Sure.
the point, Jack had it down because he was willing. But is that okay though? Like,
Right.
was Jack fearing people, throwing boulders on them, and willing to kill everybody the right way? No, like Ralph had it right. I think if Ralph and Piggy could actually get together and like just find some like middle ground, I think it would have been okay. But like, I don't think Jack was right. I think Jack was like, they're both polar opposites and like both examples of like, if you're too lenient and if you're too stringent, like
Mm.
what would happen? And there was like no middle ground. And yeah.
And it's basically all these conversations that I was having with myself. Like, it's nice having them with you guys, but I was having all of these with myself, and I don't do this when I read books like this. And there's something about this book that like that it made me think this way. And we so far with any of the classics or any of the ones that should have done this, like we read like a Steinbeck one, right? That's also like, those are also like read in schools and like should have made me do this, but like it didn't, and I didn't really care. But this one, I just couldn't help it. And I'm not saying that I liked it. I still don't like thinking those things. Like, I'd rather just read a fantasy and escape. So I didn't really enjoy it. But this book, like, it made me think. I couldn't stop myself, which is commendable, I guess, or it's interesting, it's noteworthy at the very least. Yeah.
This is one of those books where you're glad that you have read it, but you wouldn't want to read it again. It's just one of
Fuck
those
no,
books you
I
say
would
that,
never even
oh yeah, I
recommend
read
this book
this.
in my life.
You wish you had never read it. That's fair. That's
Honestly,
fair.
yeah, like I said, like this book put me in a fucking reading slump.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so bad. I
So
hated the writing.
what's
It's a one for
interesting,
me.
because like for you, the first thing you said, you ended up saying like a lot more, but the first thing you said was just straight up like the reading, like the writing itself, you just couldn't even get through.
It was incredibly difficult. Like, I'm not even joking. And
Yeah.
that's why I asked you earlier. It's like if you read it or if you actually like listened to it. But now, did you read or would you read?
I listened to it, and I listened to the
Okay.
author's version of it. So
Which, by the way, I like listened to like the first like 20% of it, maybe. The author had a monotone as well, so it
That's
was just
why
like
I
awful
didn't
to
pick
fucking
him.
get through. I
'Cause
absolutely hated
Yeah,
that.
in general, I'd
And then I
rather
was
hear like a
okay.
paid actor to do it. Like,
Right,
as soon as I saw
right.
by the author, I was like, nope.
He was
Yeah.
awful. Like the narrate, like
You
the
can
author read version was absolute dog shit. Like, no offense to the dog shit in the corner, but like it was bad. Okay, like it was bad. And then I get to the reading, and it was worse. Like, I'm not even joking when I say, in like all honesty, in all like sincerity, I don't understand how this can be required reading for a middle or high school age child, teenager, because like it was shit. And I know like reading is like all subjective, and like this book is more about like the thematic elements versus like the writing and like, whatever. You guys, I am not joking when I say you never know what perspective you're in, like who you're like, because it's like first person, right? Like it's whatever. You never know who the fuck you're in. Quotation marks. There's so many open quotation marks. There's like no punctuation. Like the spelling, like the actual writing itself, to me personally, was awful. And I don't understand how you guys did not see that. And I don't understand like why we're giving this to fucking kids to
At any
read
point, at
in
any
their
point,
adolescence. Because
at
I'm
any point, did you listen and
like,
read at the same time?
fuck no.
I'm just curious if like
And I was like, okay, maybe because they're British.
yeah, I know.
Let me screen grab. Let me screen share so you can guys see. Let me pull up my Kindle really quick. Hold on.
Because
Please hold.
I actually liked the writing. Like to me, it reminded me of a movie or a TV show that doesn't do you favors and help you understand. I kind of like
No.
being left in the dark, and for me, I liked having to figure out what the heck was going on. But which is odd because sometimes that'll bug me, but in this book it didn't. Like I
Do
like that I like that
you
I had to work for it. Basically, I don't know why.
did you read?
I did both. I had like like
Wait,
around the
did you
middle.
read or did you listen to when Simon had his fucking hallucination?
Oh, that part.
Yeah.
You know what? That part I might have
Reading that
been
shit,
reading
I felt like I was on acid. I was like,
because
what? What the fuck is happening? Which, by the way, I would have been on acid because Simon did have an hallucination. But I was just like, I can't imagine like being a fucking teenager and fucking asleep for that. Sorry.
yeah, no, I actually might have read that part. I can't really remember, but I think I started physically reading around like the 60% mark, and then I went back to listening around like the 70s. I'm not really sure. But I read like a chunk of it, but I don't quite remember when that happened.
It was bad. To me, it was like horrible. I was like, holy shit. I'd be so surprised if I passed this in high school. I obviously always said because I have my diploma, but. Anyways, yeah, I hate this book. This is literally 1 star for me. I don't give a fuck if it's required reading. I don't give a fuck if the thematic elements are there. I hate this book with my heart and my soul. I'm a Lord of the Flies hater, and I will never, ever, ever tell
Fair
anybody to read
enough.
this book.
What do you think? What are you gonna give him now?
I, maybe a 4 because I think it deserves to be rated higher because, like, we won't be having these conversations if it were a bad book, right?
Right.
So,
Or maybe I don't know if the word is bad or good, but there's but it is noteworthy that it's noteworthy that we're at 35 minutes and we don't usually for a book this size, we don't get to the 35-minute mark for a book this size like kind of
yeah.
ever. And there's something to that. Whether that's good or bad or something, but he did something. And
I
that's
mean,
yeah.
we can still keep discussing this book, like the last scene where the naval officer came and he was like not surprised. That's because he was from the war, so he's seen
Right.
worse things. So
He's
he was
seen
like,
shit.
"Meh."
As we know from
Yeah.
that other very divisive book we read, that he's seen his own shit.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think it deserves high. I enjoyed it probably like a 2. I didn't enjoy it a 1. I might have enjoyed it like a 2.5. I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go all the way down to a 1, but like there's definitely a dichotomy in my mind of how I enjoyed it. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it like a 4, but I think I'll probably give it a 4, or maybe I
Hmm.
don't know. I still haven't decided, but yeah. Julia, you look
One.
consternated.
I'm trying to find the fucking page where I was just like, dude,
Oh.
this fucking is awful. Anyways, I'm trying to find it so I can like go over it, but like.
Another thing that I think it was like a combo of the memoir, the last one, and then this, but I kept having in my mind of like I enjoy where I live, I enjoy the freedom that I have, and all these things, but like all these like ideals that we have in this country, and the reason why people come here to try and like everything about it, it all exists because we have the biggest stick.
Come here.
Like, if we didn't have the biggest stick, we would have already been taken out by now.
Come here.
We have the world's largest and sharpest stick. And it just made me like think, like I don't know, like I don't know what I think about that. It's weird. It's weird that goodness
Will say.
can come out of having having so much firing power, basically. And I don't know if
Here.
that's how it should be, but because it feels wrong when you put it in that perspective. But yeah, like if we yeah.
I will say. Um, and honestly, I'm sure you guys can really like agree with me. Maybe I don't know. I will say I would probably, as much shit as I'm talking about Jack, I probably would assume the role of Jack if I were in that situation. And you guys are gonna, Manel, I see you agreeing secretly.
No, you
Yes,
wouldn't.
I I was
I don't
thinking
think
I
about it.
so.
would.
I was trying to
Let's be
think about it.
honest. I would be fucking Jack. Okay,
Um,
like as much as I love myself, I'm gonna be realistic. If I had a fucking spear and I had a voice and I knew other people were being fucking stupid and I can control them, I absolutely would be Jack. And you know what? I hate Jack and I hate that part of me secretly, but I would be Jack. I wouldn't be Ralph. The minute it started going astray, absolutely not. Everybody would be fine. Yeah.
and
So I will say that.
yeah, I don't know. Like the other thing too, and because I want to look into this as well, like this whole thing about like what happens when you put girls in this, because like something about that like feels wrong because like maybe what I'm mistaking is like if you put girls on
Here.
an island, they would have emotionally in their heads murdered each other more than the boys did. Because
I think
like
there'd be
because
more like circles.
because I'm always blown away by like the hatred, like the more emotional hatred that
Yeah.
like females have on females. Men there's something about where there's something about you can punch a dude in the face and then like you could literally hug afterwards. Like I've seen it
No, not
happen.
us.
It's
Not
happened
us.
to me,
Or
and
me.
it like the squashing ability basically. And so like the idea that like it would just never like I feel like something would happen to girls, but I just don't know what. Like I said, I'm not sure if it would actually be violent, but something bad would happen.
I
I
don't think
think.
violence would happen if it was women. I do think there'd be more circles. Like I would say, like in this one, there was like two. It was like the like prostitutes and
Yeah,
like the little
there would
ones.
be there would be like
I think
more
if it were
clicks and
women and if
infighting
they
and
were girls,
stuff.
there'd be more clicks and anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but probably
I think
wouldn't
that'd
so
be it.
much
I don't
turn to
think there'd be as much
violence. I
violence.
yeah,
No,
I think that's probably like fair. I think that's like that is definitely more of a male tendency.
yeah,
Uh,
no,
yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
look, here
one
we are
star.
still talking
So
about it.
not changing it. Not changing it. How I feel about this book. I fucking hated this book.
No,
I
I'm
absolutely
not.
hated
I'm not
this
trying to
book.
raise you. Sound pretty staunch. I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Like,
literally had to like convince myself to get through this book. You guys, you know me, okay? I'm not one to like DNF, okay? Like I'm not a DNFer. I'm gonna see it through. This is one book. I was like, I would be willing to DNF this bitch. I would. I would. I
I.
hated it so much.
You ready for a hot take?
Yeah.
I think that you are more of a DNFer than Manel or I. All right, I'm gonna end the YouTube video and we can move on.
I've never DNF'd a book though.
But you talk about it more.
Yeah, but do I? I'm all
That still
Barbie,
makes you
baby. No
more of
way.
one.
No, that's the thing is like I will see a book through. I will see a book through. I will always see a book through. Even if I fucking hate it, I will get to the end just so I can hate it with conviction to make sure that I
To make
hated
sure that
it
your
the
hatred
entire
was
way
real.
fucking through. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I will say that about me. Is the YouTube video over? Are we done talking about this book?
Yes. Oh, whoops! I didn't click it. All right.